In the restless centuries of ancient India, where kingdoms rose and fell like waves on the Ganges, a quiet voice cut through the noise of kings, rituals, and endless debates about gods. I teach one thing: suffering and the end of suffering. Those words came from Siddhartha Gautama, later known to the world as the Buddha. But who was this man? Was he a disillusioned prince, a radical philosopher, a revolutionary teacher, or something else entirely? Someone who would overturn the spiritual order of his time. His story is woven from myth, history, and the eternal human struggle to understand why life hurts, and how it can also heal. To understand him, we must step into a world of wandering sages, rising empires, and questions that no ritual or offering could silence. A world where kings sought immortality through gold and fire, yet could not escape sickness, grief, or death. Siddhartha was born in Lumbini, around the 5th or 6th century BCE. Legends say his birth was accompanied by portents. Sages predicted he would become either a great king or a great teacher. His father, King Suddhodana, wanted the world's mightiest ruler, and so he built walls of silk and gold around his son. No sickness, no old age, no death, only luxury, music, dancing, gardens, and scholars to feed his mind. Siddhartha married Yasodhara, had a son, and lived in a perfection that seemed untouchable. Yet, no wall could hold back reality forever. On secret excursions beyond the palace, Siddhartha glimpsed what would shatter his sheltered life. The Forsytes, an old man bent with age, a man ravaged by disease, a corpse, and finally, an ascetic radiating peace. The illusion of safety dissolved. If wealth and power could not protect against suffering, what good were they? If kings were powerless, what hope did anyone have? One night, Siddhartha gazed at his sleeping wife and child. Then, silently, he left. No crown, no inheritance, only a walking stick, a robe, and a heart full of questions. This was the great renunciation, a journey not of conquest, but of surrender. To many, he abandoned duty. To Siddhartha, he answered a higher call. He wandered among hermits and seekers, through forests and villages. He studied under teachers, learned their mantras and philosophies, yet none gave him the peace he sought. Knowledge alone, he realized, could not quench the thirst of the soul. To seek truth, one must leave comfort behind. He pushed his body to extremes, fasting until he was nothing but skin and bone, meditating until the world dissolved into silence. Villagers said he resembled a walking skeleton, but even in collapse, the answers remained elusive. Then he understood. Extremes, of pleasure or pain, lead nowhere. The mind bound by craving, the body destroyed by deprivation. Truth must lie between, in a balance that honors both body and mind. This became the middle way, a path that would define his teachings. But the ultimate revelation awaited beneath a simple fig tree in Bodh Gaya. Siddhartha sat, vowing not to rise until he had discovered the nature of existence. Mara, the demon of illusion, assailed him with storms, armies, temptations of desire and fear. Yet, Siddhartha touched the earth, calling it as a witness to his resolve. By dawn, he saw life in its raw form: birth and death, craving and attachment, suffering, and the possibility of liberation from it. He had become the Buddha, the awakened one. But what exactly had he seen that would echo across continents and centuries? His insight crystallized into the four noble truths. 1. Life is marked by suffering, dukkha. 2. The cause of suffering is craving and ignorance. 3. Suffering can end. 4. The path to the end of suffering is the noble eightfold path: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This was not dogma, not a collection of rituals or prayers. It was a method, a map for anyone, anywhere, at any time. In Sarnath, he delivered his first sermon, turning the wheel of Dharma. Slowly, a community formed. The Sangha: monks, nuns, farmers, nobles, outcasts. For the first time in Indian history, the doors to liberation opened to all, regardless of caste or wealth. Yet myths soon surrounded his growing fame. Stories claimed he walked at birth, lotus flowers blooming beneath his feet. Did these miracles happen, or were they symbols, poetic expressions meant to inspire devotion? History may never fully answer. What remains certain is his era, his community, and the revolutionary nature of his teachings. Even in life, he avoided metaphysical speculation. He refused to answer questions about the universe's origin, calling them distractions from the real work, liberation from suffering. His words resonated not through kingdoms, but through practice, mindfulness, compassion, understanding. His influence spread far beyond India. Kings like Ashoka the Great carved edicts into stone, sending missionaries as far as Greece and Sri Lanka. At 80, in Kushinagar, Siddhartha lay between two sal trees. His disciples wept as he spoke his final words. All things decay. Strive with diligence. He passed into parinirvana, final release, but his journey was just beginning. Over centuries, his followers preserved his teachings, debated their meaning, and carried them across deserts, mountains, and oceans. From India to China, Japan, Tibet, and the modern West, the Buddha's voice traversed geography and time. More than 2,500 years later, his influence persists, not as flesh or crown, but as ideas that challenge the mind. Schopenhauer saw in Buddhism a mirror of his pessimism and a cure for it. Nietzsche called him a physician of the soul. T.S. Eliot wove Buddhist echoes into poetry. Carl Jung found in meditation a roadmap to the unconscious. Even today, science explores his insights. Neuroscientists scan monks' brains, discovering that meditation reshapes neural pathways, strengthens focus, empathy, and resilience. Mindfulness is now prescribed for anxiety, depression, and stress. Therapies rooted in teachings from a man who walked when iron was new. Leaders, too, have drawn from his message. Gandhi fused Buddhism's call to nonviolence with India's independence. In modern boardrooms and monasteries alike, from Silicon Valley to the Himalayas, his words are quoted, practiced, and honored. Perhaps the greatest paradox is this: a prince who abandoned everything became the most enduring teacher of how to live with everything. He claimed no divinity, sought no worship. He offered a method, a lens to see the world as it truly is, impermanent, unsatisfying, yet transformable. The Buddha's life was not about miracles or gods, but about the human condition itself. Not a king, yet his influence rivaled empires. No sword, yet his words conquered hearts. His teaching remains a quiet challenge. If suffering exists, it can end, but only if we dare to wake. So, we must ask ourselves, if one man could awaken beneath a tree, what stops you from awakening beneath the sky of your own life? Do not sleep through life. Awaken. And if awakening matters to you, join the journey, become part of this channel. Though only 1% ever do, the choice to awaken is yours.